Welcome, one and all, to the K.O.E. Nation for another premium spirits lineup and entry into the Bourbon Tournament. I am the elated, excited, devilishly handsome outlaw himself, your king of extreme, Phil K.O.E., joined by my indomitable broadcast partner,
Eric Church. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Tony G. I'm just the humble Tony G. Like, share, subscribe. This is one we've been putting off a little bit for good reason, because we wanted to be in the right mind frame for this. This one has a bit of odd expectations, I feel, for the both of us, because there is a 15-year age statement, which is my true love of the whiskey world, and Knob Creek is one that you've not loved, not hated. Are you somewhere indifferent?
Never tried it before.
There you go.
I've just, honestly...
You've had the rye.
I've had the knob rye. Well, yeah, but rye is always kind of its own animal, so I was willing to look at that separately. This, though, honestly, I don't know how I've made it this far in life and have a podcast where I review spirits, and I've never had Knob Creek bourbon before.
I feel like I have, but if I have, it's been many years.
And I've heard nothing but good, so I decided, all right, let's get pretty much the complete collection. Really, it started off with... you and me and Chicken found this bottle in South Dakota. So I was like, well, okay, I'll pick that up. Then a local store had this. And I considered getting it for a little while. I got it for retail price, $90. So I didn't pay any secondary. So, hey, 3 cheers for me. Then I thought, well, just as well get the 9-year and the basic non-age statement so we can get a complete line review. And folks, we are going to see which one of these four is going to move on and represent Knob Creek in the Sweet 16 Bourbon Tournament to decide spot number 14. We only got 2 left after this, folks. So, I think without any further ado, I'm going to get started with the opening and the pourings.
The thing about Knob Creek is...
the wax is not impressive.
It's... not aesthetically pleasing to me. I can understand why it's unique, but it's not the best looking. What kind of cork is that? Synthetic? Or is
yes.
Okay. All right.
So there we go.
Non-age statement Knob Creek.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and say, of all the waxes, Knob is. Just gonna go ahead and say it. George St. Pierre, I am not impressed by your performance.
This is a small batch, 100 proof.
A little piece of wax just flew across the room. And there's little bits. Yep, I can see the...
It kind of crumbles. That's the weird thing about it. I don't know.
But hey, what are you going to do? I mean, if they're staying true to their old school sealant process, I can kind of respect that, because... Okay. All right, this is the way we sealed this whiskey back in 1947. So no, we're sticking with it. I have no idea how long.
Die hard.
I have no idea how long Knob has been in the game. Actually, I know they are part of the Jim Beam distillery. So Jim Beam knows what they're doing. So if this stuff can even say it's better than Jim Beam Black, it's going to be impressive, because that's shockingly good. So that's your 9-year age statement.
Yep. This is also 100 proof. Okay. This says since 1992. Is that good? Are they really that young of a distillery? Is that accurate? Huh.
Well, I finally broke the seal on this 12-year. Boy, it's stuck in there, too.
Well, it's been waiting for you a long time. It's going to make you work for it.
Oh, okay.
That was nice.
Okay, there's a reason I had to work for that. That was a satisfying pop.
Well, we're basing it off of pop alone. I think this one's already in the lead. This is the 12-year. Is this also 100 proof?
Yep, 100 proof. So that seems to be their. Crafted from.
I'm just getting a plethora of aroma. Like, it jumped up intensely after you poured that 12.
We get into the Knob Creek 15. This is one that I was considering.
Get in that box.
Do I get into this one, or do I try and trade it for some other bottle? But you know what? Life is short, and whiskeys are meant to be enjoyed in this life.
It's a 15-year, and I wasn't going to let you.
There's a little bit of a...
Sorry.
Yep. A little bit of this sticky stuff on the back. I can just get rid of that now. Don't need that no more. And the Knob Creek 15 year. I'll let you look over that box for a bit, and
it's actually kind of.
I know people
it's
that
very
like,
light.
They make like little shelves out of these.
I keep seeing people use the Booker's boxes to make shelves. I would assume they do the same with this. This is another small batch. Again, this is 15 years. The presentation, it is very similar to Booker's, but, they're coming from the same place, so big shocker there.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
That one even had a deeper bass resonance for just to represent how much older it is. I mean, I'm sure that's how that exactly works.
In Claremont, Kentucky. This does say 1992, so not a very old distillery, I guess, comparatively to some of the others.
All right, T. And your Glencairn there is
the 15.
Yep, this is the 15, the 12, the 9, and the no age statement.
And that is also 100 proof. Correct?
Yes, 100 proof.
100 proof
set
across
that
the board.
up there. So let's start off with non-age statements.
Here we go, 400 proof. Non-age statement.
Check that math again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, I like this nose.
Very subtle.
It is, but I like it. It's
Can I be
soft.
honest with you? It's going to sound... I'm sorry to insult you, but... First thing I thought when I smelled this, Jack Daniels. But without that dirty,
well, that's weird because,
cold...
gosh, could Jack Daniels be a bourbon?
Jack Daniels not a bourbon and never will be!
It is.
That's a different dispute for another day. But,
I'm not getting...
I'm getting a slight apple, and the nose is telling me there will be some caramel there. But
Yeah.
I'm not getting a lot on the nose.
No, I get a slight floral, but yeah, you're right. Orchid
Now, this is
grape.
very, very inexpensive. Like, you can... I think this little... 375 cost me like under $20.
Okay.
So there's a reason this is
Nose
a base
alone, I'd
offering.
say pick this one up. I like the nose.
Excuse me.
All right, well, I think it's time. Soft but sharp. There's that caramel, a little bit. It stays the same, I think, through the whole process.
I was about to say there's an apple and a brown
Yeah.
sugar, and kind of like the nose, you think there's going to be a slight hint of caramel.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really get there.
Yeah, it never really exploded into a caramel flavor, but honestly, that's not bad. Not bad at all.
I'm gonna now we're just gonna grade on 2 scales here. We'll get into full gradings later, but we're gonna grade this as a bourbon and it's shelving.
Okay.
So as a bourbon, what would you give this on a star scale?
I would give this 3 1/4.
You know, I was thinking the exact same thing, maybe 3 to 3 1/4,
Yep.
because this is a good mixer.
No, this is a great
This
sip.
would go great with just about any standard bourbon cocktail. So
Yeah, this is a lot more. I'm sorry for those of you who are fans of the Heaven Hill Distillery, but that's almost like flat bourbon to me. Like, this still has enough spice to warrant me coming back to it.
all right, now in terms of shelving,
Middle.
this is a bottom shelf for me. Like I'll be honest.
I don't know.
I might be getting to be kind of a bourbon snob.
That's totally fair, but there's a lot, like I said, like a Heaven Hill, even some of the entry level Jim Beam. Like, just there's so many bottom shelf bourbons out there. First initial thought, I do like this, so I would
it's
almost
not
put this on
bad.
the middle.
Now let's see what the 9-year age statement when you kick that up.
Okay. With
Very
a little
similar.
bit of-
Very similar.
It's similar, but there's just an extra,
Sweetness.
yeah, maybe a honey,
I would want to say
butterscotch.
like more of the apple from this.
It's very similar. It might be a little.
I wonder
softer.
if this is like 4 to 5 years old.
Yeah.
And this is 9 years old, and it's just,
Yeah.
boy, you'd think it'd be a bigger difference there.
No, there's not much difference there, but it's softer, I think, on the nose.
I'm just getting slightly more, like you said, a sweet, but
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time placing it. So let's see where it places on the palate. That's the truest test. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh
There's
yeah.
that mint.
There's
that heat.
Yep. No, that's
Completely different palates.
yeah. Way different. Well, I think it's the base is here. The base is still there, but yeah, you're right. There's just a lot more going on here.
Oh yeah.
In terms of
The
palate
noses
experience.
are almost identical.
Yeah.
The palates are very off. And
Oh yeah.
in
Still.
an interesting way, if you like
Yeah.
a heated, spicy, minty bourbon, this one's right up your alley. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, no, this is yeah. I'm thinking, what does a bottle of 9 run typically?
I think about $35-40.
Okay.
So, it's been some time since I bought this. Like I've been hanging on to these.
Oh well,
bottles
then
for a
by
while.
now it's probably 100 because
God.
bourbon prices.
Stop it. Just stop it.
Ah, how did that get there?
Oh, magic. Dude. So we move right along to the grading
Okay.
of this particular bourbon.
I'm gonna say this is a solid 3.5 for sure. This definitely. God, it didn't exceed my expectations because I really liked the non-age statement as a nice, affordable bargain sipping bourbon, and I was even generous enough to say, middle-ish shelf. This one surprised me. I think 3.5's definitely fair. I don't know that I could go any higher yet.
Hate to agree, but I'm gonna agree.
All right.
3.5, and this one I could lend it to the middle shelf maybe.
Well,
But
now
it could
that I've
also-
had both, this is going down to the bottom, and this is taking the middle spot. Sorry. There you
see,
go.
Your King of Extreme is incredibly persuasive.
It's-
So, now T, this is the one I'm really looking forward to here. The award-winning Knob Creek 12-year.
Yes.
There's been a lot of awards that have said this is the whiskey of the year.
What year?
Of unfortunately the last year.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
Oh. I'm sorry.
But we'll see.
There's nothing there.
It's the same nose.
I mean, that's.
There's more caramel here on the 12. There just is.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
all that's there. Honestly, I can barely smell Knob Creek influencing this as a whole. I'm not even getting. That's it. It just smells like a caramel sweetness.
If the non-age to 9 is any indication as to how different their nose to palate can be, I'm looking forward to see what happens here, T.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be good. Oh,
Delightful.
that's got a hard candy, not a butterscotch, but maybe like if you took like a butterscotch hard candy and a root beer hard candy and put them in your mouth at the same time and really sucked on those and got all of the sweetness out of that. That's what this sweetness is reminding me of.
All the heat's on the back of the tongue.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
Doesn't
there's not
stick
a
on
lot.
this. Yeah, it's not nearly as spicy as the 9.
No.
Which, considering they're both 100 proof, interesting. But yeah, that one's mouth-watering.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's great.
we were both just like, yeah, that's an amazingly good bourbon. I'm gonna give that 3.75 in terms of its grading.
Same thing. Yeah, that's delicious, and these are just getting better. And
It
better.
would grade a lot higher as like a whiskey and such, but that'll be a different.
Yes.
But yeah, this is
No, that's delightful. I'm very impressed.
this one would probably be almost a middle to top shelf bourbon for me.
I'm gonna stick with the middle shelf. It's a damn good bourbon, but
Going in for a second take.
it's still a young brand, and I think that this is definitely the potential to become more respected. Like you said, for winning awards even in a really bad year, that does say something, and I can see why. It's not run-of-the-mill bourbon. It's just got a little something extra that sets it apart from other ones I've had.
A subtle sweetness, a subtle heatness. I can see why this one really impressed.
Yeah.
It doesn't have some of the over-the-top flavors that we're used to.
No, that's yeah. I agree.
Interesting
agree.
stuff. Well, yep, I think it's time to...
Are we there? We're there. Okay.
We are here, folks.
This one has a pretty big hill to climb. They've gotten better each bottle, and it's 15 years, so...
Tony's favorite age statement, folks. We'll see what happens.
This could be interesting. Cinnamon.
It's like a...
Ooh.
Like a metallic copper note, I'm getting.
Yeah! Oh, yeah. The way that it resonates in your nostrils. Yeah.
Like you're holding a handful of pennies.
Mm-hmm.
Like... But yeah, you're right. There's a cinnamon, vanilla, really, like really strong vanilla
Very
extract.
strong. Yep.
God, there's a lot of There's a lot of cask influence here.
If I didn't know this was
Why
bourbon,
isn't there nearly as much on the 12?
I don't know. That's weird because if I didn't know that this was bourbon specifically, and you just held it up to my nose, that might not be where my mind went immediately.
Where would it go?
I could almost go Japanese. I don't know why that popped in my head, but like a couple of the recent ones we tried, similar nose I'm feeling. Like that was a Nika coffee whiskey.
Yep, the Nika coffee grain, which is a mostly corn-based whiskey and bourbons.
Yeah, that's what's reminding me of.
I'm guessing this is probably like 70% corn. But
that's probably fair.
Well,
okay, let's do it. Chocolate cherry. Oh.
Kind of a coffee-ish
note
on the end.
Yep. Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah, this one's all over the place. This is
wow.
And it's not an oak bomb like I was afraid it was going to be.
No, it's not.
Like a lot of people were saying, "Wow, it's 15 years, so it's probably just going to be all oak." But no, not this one.
Oh yeah, that is actually pretty impressive that it's that old, but it's not overtaken by that. Wow, they found the secret formula.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed.
It's really nice.
Now, as a bourbon, how would you grade this?
Oh, I gotta go back in one more time.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give this a 4 stars as a bourbon. They've just kind of gone up the ladder, haven't they, folks?
Yeah, and I can't disagree. I want to give it 3.75, but I can't. I really like this. This has a lot to offer. It's aged perfectly, and this is craftsmanship. I'm very impressed. 4 stars.
Goodness gracious. So, in terms of shelving,
that I could probably put that on my top shelf and not feel bad about it at
just
all.
Because you're gonna have such a hard time finding another one.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, that'll go on my top shelf, or we'll see. We'll see. But now we get to another interesting part of the show here, T. The eliminations to see who moves on to the bourbon tournament. So, T, as much as we found this one delectable, delightful, the non-age statement, it's a fine whiskey, isn't it?
It's not making it.
No, it is not.
I think the same can be said about the 9.
The 9 is a great whiskey. It's spicy and different, but it's got the same nose, and we've got some pretty stiff competition. I think Knob Creek would even appreciate us moving one of these two on. Now, T, the question is, the 12 has won multiple awards. The 15 has been very controversial. So, I'm going to let you go first before I even say anything.
I could go either way with this, honestly. It just kind of depends how appealing one would be to the other on a grand scale for a tournament format of grading a champion. And that being said, I would give the slightest edge in a tournament format to the 12-year.
And why is that?
Because I think it appeals to a more broad range of people who would be interested in drinking a lot of different bourbons to see which one's the best of them all. Personally, I think the 15 is hands down better, but the 12 is so approachable as a bourbon. I think it really reminds you of what bourbon can be with an age statement, not over the top, but I really think that this one would do better in the tournament as a whole.
Because I'm kind of leaning towards 15.
And I could just as easily go that way because of the coffee notes, the chocolate cherry on the front that I was tasting, the smell throwing me off in terms of smelling like a bourbon. It's a toss-up for me. That's why I said I'd tip it to the 12. But you could easily convince me to go to the 15.
Take another sip of the 15.
Okay.
Let's see if that does it. And go back to the 12. All right, now take another sip of the 12. No, come on. I don't make the rules. I just make them up and then have you do them. Now take another sip of the 15. Now take a sip of the 9-year.
What?
This is science. Okay. Now take another sip of the 15.
Where's this going?
Just trust me. I'm having way too much fun. Okay, now that my little fun is over. Now, T, out of all those tastes you just did,
What's the point of that?
I had a marvelous time.
Okay. Drink of water.
All right. Now that you got a drink of water, T. Now take a sip of the 15.
Okay, fuck it. 15 wins.
Yeah! All right.
The 15 wins. Okay, you convinced me. Jesus.
All right.
I don't know. Where's this going?
I was just gonna say
We're gonna be halfway through the bottle by the time you go. Okay, I'm just fucking with you.
I think the audience pretty much picked that up, T.
When you started introducing the 9-year, I'm like, okay. But speaking of that, I mean,
oh, here it comes. Oh,
we're at that point. Sorry.
the blend
not
master
sorry.
must blend.
Yeah.
I'll take a nose of it, but my word, the blend master must blend.
They all kind of hide each other.
I'm sure they do.
Honestly, it's very subtle.
I was about to say, I smelled your hand more than I smelled the whiskey, which that's something.
Well, that doesn't suck. B+.
All right,
B+.
the blend master gives the blend of the Knob Creek line a B+. But folks, we have determined that Knob Creek 15-year is going to make it into the bourbon tournament to represent Knob Creek. Now, if for some reason Knob Creek is down from injury, or if some of my kinfolk come over and happen to drink this bottle empty, Knob 12 will step up in the bourbon tournament as the alternate because,
So we've got an alternate.
That could happen.
Okay.
There's, I'm like, if my brothers come over, like, okay, you gotta try this 15-year-old bourbon.
Next thing you know, you're down to a quarter of a bottle.
Oh no! The 12 will step up.
Yeah.
We will see how that goes. So I think that's a pretty
I
good
think
plan.
both would do fairly well in their own rights.
I think if you were to like blend them together as like a Knob Creek 13 and a half year.
Well, I got more like a 12 and a quarter here.
Yeah. That's, goodness gracious. So folks, T, anything you'd like to say to the people?
No, like I said, it's been years, if I can even remember, the last time I tried a Knob Creek. And wow, I surely wouldn't have appreciated it at the time, and they've really done a nice job with this line. I'm very impressed. From the base offering to the higher end. Very impressive. Really like it.
Yep. So folks, as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining us for our line review and bourbon tournament selection of Knob Creek. I am the devilishly handsome outlaw himself, your king of extreme, Phil K.O.E., signing off and handing it off to my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
Tony G, thanks for coming.